Hi friends, good day. Today I'm going to tell you some important points. The entire chapter has been divided into three categories. The entire chapter for you to understand. You've seen the first category, how to prepare statement of affairs. Point number two, how to prepare deficiency account. And second category, what we'll be doing, how to prepare liquidator final accounts. Liquidator final accounts is statement of affairs is an estimation that these assets are going to realize and liabilities. This is what the liabilities we need to pay, and this is what the deficiency or surplus which we may have. This is only apprehension, but in reality is that the unless you sell, that means who is going to sell? The liquidator who is being appointed. um, I mean, in case of winding up, the liquidator who is going to who is in charge of selling the assets and making the payment, uh, and that he is preparing account called as liquidator final statement of account. So that will give you a clarity of that, what the amount that has been realized by selling the asset and how the payment has been made. In simple words, it is like a summary of summary of cash book. Okay, so before you go to that, this is one thing which I want to work out as a stage 2 model. It is starting from today's class onwards, and for continuing for two to three classes, 3 to 4 classes maybe. And then in some cases debentures, they may be having their own receiver for getting back the money when company goes for liquidation, because to safeguard the interest of the debenture holders, but having security was having security on the assets of the company, a floating charge. So charge on all assets, and they want the company, the receiver to, receiver means the person who is going to realize the amount on behalf of the debenture holders by selling the company's assets. And then after making the payment, debenture holders, if there is any surplus, say for example assets realized is 1 crore, debenture holders are 20 lakhs, so 1 crore means 20 lakhs, 80 lakhs will be given back to the liquidator, who in turn will use that amount for making payment to the creditors, preferential creditors, etc., and then finally to the members. So these two things comes under one category. Very rarest rare cases will be have, you need to prepare a receiver account. Otherwise, generally in the problem they are giving you 8 marks question, liquidator final statement of account. This is stage 2. And third stage 3, where you can expect is that I'm dividing the entire concept into 3 stages. Stage 3 is where, as I told you, in case of uncalled capital, subscribed uncalled capital, suppose 10 rupees is the face value of the share, and the company has only called 8 rupees, 2 rupees is balance. The 2 rupees company can call if needed, means at the time of winding up the company. This you have learned in foundation stage company accounts. We have learned about, I have explained about this particular point. So 2 rupees is company, if company needs the money 2 rupees for making payment when there's a deficiency of money to the members, when there's a deficiency of amount to the not members, unsecured creditors, and these members, shareholders will be called as the members. Now members will be called as contributories, and that contributories need to bring the money to make a payment to the unsecured creditors. In this case, we are having present members are called as a list A, past members as called as B. So I think that you will be learning when you work out problems. That is probably in stage 3. Clear? So this is what is the remaining things which is being left out. So today's class, in that regard, I am going to tell you an important point. Today's class is overriding preferential payments. Overriding preferential payments is explained in section 326. Overriding preferential payments, section 326. So overriding, according to this section, or if you don't want to write the section, leave it. We need not unnecessarily remember this. Companies Act, overriding preferential payments are as follows. What are those, sir? A, workmen's dues. B, so much of the debts due to the secured creditors as could not be realized as could not be realized by him, means by liquidator, by him, because pari passu. You might have learned in this pari passu charge in favor of workmen over the security held by him. C, preferential payment workmen dues, and B, so much of the debt due to secured creditors as could not be realized by him because of pari passu charge in favor of workmen, so the securities held by him. The simple words, the company, we have seen in list B, assets specifically pledged. Whenever you are having secured creditors, so when you are having secured creditors, the secured creditors will realize the asset and they get back their money. But workmen dues are having pari passu. Pari passu means equal footing. You might have learned that law. Equal footing. Equal footing means here they are having equal footing on the asset that has been pledged as security for getting the loan from the creditors, and that amount, the secured creditors, when they sell the asset, they realize, and the right the right which the secured creditors is having, the same right workmen dues are also having. The same right they are having. That means according to the proportion to the security. That I will be explaining by taking one example. It means the workers are having equal footing on the asset that has been pledged. The asset that has been pledged as secured creditors, as secured creditors who are having on the asset that has been pledged with him. That means workmen's dues are also having the same equal footing on the security which creditors are enjoying on a particular property. So that is what we will be learning in this overriding. Overriding preferential payment means utmost important. The meaning is utmost important. So now what we need to do is that what are the workmen dues, how we have to consider. So before I go to that, I need to explain one more point. All such debts must be paid in full unless the assets are insufficient. Then in which case they shall abate in equal proportion. They shall abate in equal proportion. It means if suppose debts you are having sufficient security, so all the debts which are having the security, that is to be cleared along with the workmen dues also, and then there will not be issue. But the asset that has been pledged for getting the loan or whatever it may be, the amount which is due to unsecured creditors is not sufficient, then then the payment to the workmen dues will be to the and secured creditors will be in equal proportion. How that I will be explaining in the problem. So you make a note on this. Next point. Workmen's dues. Workmen's dues. In relation to company. In relation to company means the aggregate of the following sums. That is wages and salaries, wages and salaries, then B, all accrued holiday remuneration, all accrued holiday remuneration. Next, C, compensation under Industrial Dispute Act. Or workmen Compensation Act. Okay. Then plus, I think nowadays they're giving only this one. Let me, previously we used to give compensation under Workmen Compensation Act. Next, all sums due, all sums due to any workman, from a provident fund, pension fund, a gratuity fund, or any other fund. Or any other fund. Okay. Here, the important thing you should understand, workman means who is workman. Just for theoretical purpose, I am explaining. In relation to company means the employee of the company. Workman within the meaning of Industrial Dispute Act. Employee of the company, but being the workman within the meaning of Industrial Dispute Act. That's it. He's called as a workman. So come on, tell me, Workmen dues, wages, salaries, all accrued holiday remuneration, compensation under Workmen Compensation Act, all sums due to any workman from a PF, Provident Fund, Pension Fund, Gratuity Fund, or any other fund. So all these workmen dues are having a same charge on the assets that has been pledged with the secured creditors. That is what will be working out. It is what is being called as overriding preferential payment. That particular point I want to explain you with one example. So here I am writing example for calculation of overriding preferential payments. For calculation of overriding preferential payments. How to calculate that? That we'll be seeing today. Example here. Secured creditors on land and building, say 4 lakhs. Land and building realized. Secured creditors 4 lakhs, but land and building realized 3 lakhs. Then wages and salary of a workman for the last 5 months. Last 5 months at the rate of 2000 per month. Accrued holiday remuneration. Accrued holiday remuneration of workmen 2000. Next, compensation due to workmen under the Workmen Compensation Act. Compensation due to workmen under the Workmen Compensation Act 8,000. Provident Fund Pension Fund Gratuity Fund 80,000. Now I think I need not tell you about it, all those things. These are secured creditors. Now this all comes under the category of workmen dues. No, they all comes under the category of workmen dues. So now to explain that, point number 1, total workmen's due. Total workmen due. 5 workers, 5 months, 2000 per month. 5 into 2000 we have seen here. Wages of a workman for the last 5 months at the rate of 2000 per month, 5 into 2000. Plus, I've told you, Accrued holiday remuneration. I've given already definition. Accrued holiday remuneration, wages and salary, accrued holiday remuneration, compensation under Workmen Act. See, this is last year, my dear friends. Preferential payments during the, see, we have learned preferential creditors during the liquidation process. This is in arrears from last 1 year. This is what is called as overriding preferential payment. That is what we are seeing. Provident fund, pension fund, gratuity fund, and accrued holiday remuneration, compensation due to workmen under Workmen Compensation Act, they all comes under the category. 2000 plus 8000 plus 80,000. It is coming to how much? 10, 12, 20 plus 80, 1 lakh rupees. Now, what is workmen due? 1 lakh. What is amount due to secured creditors? 4 lakhs. So, if you total due will be 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs means if you go in ratio 4:1. So, the secured creditors 3 lakhs, 4/5 will be used for making payment to secured creditors, 1/5 will be used for making the payment to workmen dues. This is what is called as pari passu. I have told you, no, pari passu means unequal. So much of the debts due to secured creditors and could not be realized by him because of pari passu charge in favor of workmen. Workmen is also having, or security held by him means they are having security on the amount which is due to workers. Now, what is the amount that is due to workers means 3 lakhs is the amount that is being realized on asset that has been secured, that has been taken as secured creditor, that has been pledged as a security to the creditors. That is why they are called as secured creditors. No, now that 3 lakhs. So secured creditors also having right and workmen's dues also having right. How? Pari passu. Unequal footing means according to the amount that is due to them. What is according to the amount that is due to him? Due to them, secured creditors 4 lakhs and workmen dues is 1 lakh. So 4:1. 4/5 of 3 lakhs amount is used for towards secured creditors. 1/5 will be used towards unsecured creditors. So now here the second point which I am going to explain you is that this is solution. Second point, share of secured creditors. Share of secured creditors and workmen dues. Share of secured creditors and workmen's due in the value of security realized. Share of secured creditors and workmen's due in the value of security realized. Share of secured creditors is equal to, as I told you, 3 lakhs, no? 3 lakhs into 4/5. 4/5, 2,40,000. I told you how you got 4,50,000. That is in the ratio of 4 lakhs is to 1 lakh. 4 lakhs is secured creditors. 1 lakh is workmen dues. Clear? So 4/5 portion of secured creditors is used. Security is used for making payment to secured creditors. B. Share of workmen dues. The asset realized 3 lakhs, 1/5 will be given to workmen due. That means workmen dues are having priority on asset that has been pledged with secured creditors. That means the utmost importance has been given to workmen's dues by the Companies Act to protect, to safeguard the interest of the workers when where company goes for liquidation. That is what the meaning of it. 40,000, 2,40,000 and 3 lakhs into 1 by 5, 40,000. Hello. So 3 lakhs into 1 by 5, 60,000. That means the 3 lakhs securities will be shared between secured creditors and workmen. That is what pari passu. What is pari passu? Equal footing means according to the amount that is outstanding to them, the amount is being shared. Now the important point is, sir, our heading is about overriding preferential payments. No, what is heading? Overriding preferential payments. Overriding preferential payment means workmen dues to the extent not covered. So much of the debt due to secured creditors as could not be realized by him because of pari passu. Now, what do you mean by this, sir? You don't have explanation anywhere. This is very important point you should understand. Just from theoretical, we haven't had any question on that, but it is there in the material. So that is what we are discussing now. The second important question is that what is overriding preferential payment? I think you can guess it now. You guess in the meanwhile, let me write it. Overriding preferential payments. In this A, secured creditors to the extent of their security being used for workmen's use. Being used for workmen's use. Secured credit to the extent their security being used for workmen dues. Actually, it means, sir, you are supposed to give 3 lakhs to whom? Secured creditors, because they're having security. But Companies Act is protecting the interest of the workers. So actually, they're supposed to get 3 lakhs. But how much they were able to realize? 2 lakh 40,000. What is that they could not able to realize? 3 lakhs minus 2 lakh 40,000. No. So this is what they could have used. See, the security 3 lakhs. No. Out of 3 lakhs, they could have used how much? 3 lakhs they could have used. Of course, you may say, sir, here 4 lakhs is there. No, sir. Yes, 4 lakhs. Land and building related 3 lakhs. The balance 1 lakh is unsecured creditors. You know that. Unpaid portion on secured creditors will become unsecured creditors. No issue on that. But out of this 3 lakhs also, they could not able to get 3 lakhs because of pari passu. If there's no workmen use, they're happy. They could have got 3 lakhs. Because of pari passu, they were able to get out of 3 lakh, they were able to get 2 lakh 40. Still, how much they need to get? 60,000. 60,000. This is A. B. B. Now, balance of workmen dues. What is balance of workmen dues, my dear friends, here? 60,000 is share. Actual workmen dues is 1 lakh, no? Out of 1 lakh, total workmen due, how much you are able to realize through security of the asset? 60,000. What is the balance now? 1 lakh minus 60,000. It is coming to 40,000. 1 lakh minus 60,000 is coming to how much? 40,000. They could not able to realize. Now this is what is called as overriding preferential payments. That means for workers 40,000 they should get, secured credit they should get. That means when assets are being realized, my dear friends, the priority what you will be doing, the priority is that first overriding preferential payment, cost of expense of finding of when the liquidator start making the payment, then secured creditors, unsecured creditors, like that you need to make a payment to them. That you will be learning in liquidator final statement. It means before you make payment to others, first 1 lakh is to be given, because the security is being used partly for secured creditors, partly for workmen use. That is why the amount that could not be used, if the security is enough, the question of overriding preferential payment does not arise. Try to understand. See, if we got more secure, suppose 5 lakh security is there, the question does not arise. Happy. Why? Because out of 5 lakhs, 4 lakhs will be given to secured creditors, 1 lakh can be given to whom? Workmen use. There will not be any issue. But the problem is this: since we don't have enough security, out of the security which is available, 60,000 you are given to whom? To the secured creditor. 60,000 you could not able to give to secured creditors. 40,000 you could not able to give to secured creditors because they're having equal footing. That means workmen dues are also having same weightage on that charge or weightage on the asset that is being secured. This is what the meaning of overriding preferential payment. That means ultimately overriding preferential payment means secured creditors, to the extent their security being used for workmen dues, means 60,000. That means, simple words, the unused portion, 3 lakhs they could have used, they were able to use only 2 lakh 40. Unused portion is 60,000. The balance of workmen dues is 60. Out of 1 lakh they were able to get only 60,000. So balance is how much? 40,000. So total preferential overriding preferential payment is 1 lakh. Okay. And the second point, actually, I have explained you about the meaning of preferential creditors. That already I have explained before, even statement of affairs. So that I am not going to explain once again. Now today's class, I'll be taking you to liquidator final statement. This is an important point. Okay. Today's class, I'm going to explain you liquidator final statement. Okay. So let me start with that. Write the heading: liquidator final statement of account. Liquidator final statement of account. Today, that is what I'm going to explain you. So liquidator final statement of account. What is liquidator final statement of account? I have told you, liquidator final statement of account, after realizing the assets and making payment of liabilities, that is what is being presented by liquidator, is called as final statement of account. In simple words, liquidator final statement of account is basically a summary of cash flow. Okay, it is the final statement of account that is to be submitted by official liquidator or liquidated to the court or members, creditors, as the case may be, in the beginning, as the case may be, in the event of the company is being finally wound up. Okay, this is what the meaning of liquidator final statement of account. This particular statement shows the various sources from where he obtained, he means liquidator obtained the funds, and various uses to which he applied for making the payments, applied the funds for making the payment. So this will give you a clarity of thought. So write the heading: meaning of, I'll be dictating, you can copy down, meaning of liquidator's final statement of account. Take a notebook and copy down. Meaning of liquidator's final statement of account. Liquidator final statement of account. Liquidator's final statement of account is basically liquidator's final statement of account is basically a summary of cash book. Basically a summary of cash book for the period beginning for the period beginning with the date of commencement of winding up and ending with the date of completion of winding up and ending with the date of completion of winding up. for the period beginning with the date of commencement of winding up and ending with the date of completion of winding up. This statement shows, excuse me, this statement shows various sources from where this statement shows the various sources from where he obtained the funds. He obtained the funds. He obtained the funds and the various uses, various sources from where he obtained the funds and the various uses, and the various uses to which, and the various uses to which he applied those funds, and the various uses to which he applied those funds. He applied those funds. I repeat the last line again. This statement shows the various sources from where he obtained the funds excuse me, and the various uses, and the various uses to which he applies those funds. Just theoretical part I am explaining. Who is to prepare such statement? Who has to prepare liquidator final statement means in case of company compulsory winding up, official liquidator, because he's been appointed by the court. In case of voluntary winding up, liquidator appointed by the members has to prepare, because the to whom this statement is to be submitted means in case of compulsory winding up, the statement final statement of account is to be submitted to the court. In case of voluntary winding up, it has to submit to the company. Okay, then for preparing this the for doing this charge, for doing this discharging the duties of realization of assets, making payment, general remuneration will be fixed. How the remuneration will be fixed, my dear friends? The remuneration will be fixed like compulsory winding up, remuneration is fixed by the court, and the amount is payable to the court. So in the official liquidator is a salaried employee of the government. So who prepares the remuneration? In case of compulsory winding up, court is going to prepare. In case of members voluntary winding up, members in their meeting will be fixing. In case of creditors has led for voluntary winding up, then creditors in the meeting will fix the remuneration. You know what is remuneration? That amount that is to be paid. Okay, my dear friends. Then now coming back to this now, the format of liquidator final account. So that is what simple format I'll be giving you. Then we can work out few problems on this. First, let me give you liquidator final statement of account. Receives payment. To realization. Simple way I'm explaining. From sale of assets. Assets not specifically pledged. Assets not specifically pledged can be sold in the market, no? Some amount you will be getting. To realization from assets specifically pledged. Assets specifically pledged. Suppose 5 lakhs is the realization from assets specifically pledged. Amount paid to secured creditors, say 4 lakhs. Amount paid to say 4 lakhs. Then balance will be taken to 1 lakh will be taken to outer column. Sir, you may say 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs. So there is no question of any surplus. It will be taken to unsecured creditors, no, the payment to unsecured creditors that we have seen in statement of affairs. Now, this is important. To receipts from contributory, I've told you contributory means subscribed uncalled capital will be used. It is also called as reserve capital. Is used only in the case of winding up. You have learned in foundation. So, if there is any amount needed for making payment to outsiders, creditors, we can get the money from contributories. To receipts from contributory. To receipts from contributory. To the extent of uncalled capital. To the extent of uncalled capital. Subscribed uncalled capital. Now, how you need to make payment? The receipt, this is receipts. Now, final means just you are dispersing the amount to all the people. How we start? First, legal charges. If any, by liquidator remuneration. Next, by expenses of liquidation. By expenses of liquidation. Next, amount paid to debenture holders. Amount paid to debenture holders. Then preferential creditors. I'm just dictating the format, my dear friends. But in practice, preferential creditors will be paid by prior to debenture holders. But format wise they are given. But when you make payment, first the amount will be paid to whom? Preferential creditor. That is why I'm just explaining the format. When we work out the problem, things will be different. Just I'm dictating the format. I'm writing like this: by preferential creditors, then by unsecured creditors. Then next, preference shareholders. Preference shareholders. Then comes equity shareholders. This is the format. Simple notes. As I told you, in actual practice, preferential creditors are paid before debenture holders having a floating charge. So preferential creditors will be paid. But as for since only presentation sake, I have explained this. Clear to all of you? Okay, now the point is that we will be discussing today liquidators remuneration. Liquidators remuneration, that we will be discussing now. Now, so the most important point, all those things is clear. Only today we will be discussing about the liquidator remuneration. How liquidators remuneration is to be calculated. This is important points to be noted. Important points to be noted on liquidator remuneration. Okay, points to be noted on liquidator remuneration. Points to be noted. First point, I am talking about liquidator remuneration. You take your notes, I'll dictate, you can copy down. liquidator remuneration. Point number 1, in lump sum. Point number 1, in that small one, liquidator remuneration can be paid in lump sum. Then, as a percentage of the assets realized. Next, as a percentage on the assets realized. As a percentage on the assets realized. Point number 3, as a percentage on of the payments made. Of the payments made to unsecured creditors. Payments made to unsecured creditors, or sometimes they'll be giving shareholders. The percentage of, as a percentage of the amount paid made to unsecured creditors or shareholders, or in any one or more of the above ways. In any one or more of the above ways. This is liquidator remuneration. Point number 2, assets realized means assets realized means we should understand what is assets realized. See, generally assets realized means the term realized for the purpose of liquidated remuneration generally does not include cash in hand. The cash in hand, what the asset is realized by liquidator, unless in the problem has been given on cash also remuneration is to be calculated, is to be included. Otherwise, assets realized generally will not include cash. So we make a note on this point number 1. Here on assets realized, this is what I am explaining here. What is the meaning of assets realized? So make a note. That point number 1. The term assets realized, I'm dictating this, I can't write, you make a note of it. The term assets realized for the purpose of liquidator remuneration. The term assets realized for the purpose of liquidator remuneration generally does not include generally does not include cash in hand. Generally does not include cash in hand, comma, unless otherwise specified. Clear? So liquidated. So in case of an asset, the first point, the terms asset realized for the purpose of liquidated remuneration generally does not include cash in hand unless otherwise specified. Point number 2. In case of an asset specifically pledged. In case of an asset specifically pledged, we have seen asset specifically pledged. Then you can guess who will realize that money? The creditor himself will realize the money, not the liquidator. In case of an asset specifically pledged, it is generally presumed that such asset has been realized by the concerned creditor himself. Such asset has been realized by the consent creditor himself. So liquidator will be allowed. So liquidator will be allowed only on the amount of surplus. So liquidator will be allowed only on the amount of surplus realized from such creditor. So liquidator will be allowed only on the amount of surplus realized from such creditor. Realized from such creditor. Clear? Suppose 50,000 asset realized, 40,000 liability. On 10,000 liquidator may be able to get a remuneration. But basically the asset has been realized by creditor himself. So that is the point. The second point I explained. Third point. In case of hypothecation of an asset, 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 it is generally presumed that liquidator has himself realized the asset. In case of hypothecation of an asset, it is generally presumed that liquidator has himself realized the asset and will be allowed remuneration of the full value realized on account of sale of such an asset. On account of sale of such an asset. The third point. The term unsecured creditors. The term unsecured creditors also include includes preferential creditors. Preferential creditors unless otherwise specified. Unless otherwise specified. See, please remember, as I told you, as a percentage of amount to unsecured creditors I have given. No? So here I am writing this. Unsecured creditors includes, the term unsecured creditors also include preferential creditors unless otherwise stated. Okay. Now the question is, sir, whether amount is sufficient or insufficient for making payment. So this is what we'll be discussing today's class. How the remuneration will be, liquidated remuneration will be calculated. This is an important point I wish to make. Before I take up the that particular example, make a note. Fourth point. In case liquidator is entitled to get commission. In case liquidator is entitled to get commission on payments made to persons on payments made to persons who are last in order, who are last in order of payment. In case liquidator is entitled to get commission on payments made to persons who are last in order of payment because because the amount is insufficient, because the amount is insufficient. Then liquidator's remuneration should be calculated. Then liquidator remuneration should be calculated as follows. Then liquidator remuneration should be calculated as follows. Then liquidator remuneration is calculated as follows. Let me give a small example to this. Example, LT Limited went into liquidation here. I told you the insufficient. See, in case liquidator entitled to get commission on payment made to persons who are in order of last payment. Order of last payment means it can be unsecured creditors, it can be shareholders, depending upon the problem that is being provided to us. How to calculate, that is what we are seeing. LT Limited went into liquidation with the following liabilities. With following liabilities. LT Limited went into liquidation with following liabilities. In this, secured creditors 40,000, securities realized 50,000. Securities realized 50,000. Preferential creditors 1200, for example. Unsecured creditors unsecured creditors 61,000. Liquidation expenses 500. Okay. Excuse me. The liquidator is entitled to a remuneration of to a remuneration of 3% on the amount realized including securities in the hands of secured creditors. Including securities in the hands of secured creditors. And 1.5% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. And 1.5% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. The various assets excluding securities in the hands of the secured creditors excluding securities in the hands of secured creditors realized 52,000. Realized 52,000. Prepare the liquidator's statement of account prepare the liquidator statement of account showing the payment made to unsecured creditors. Payment made to the unsecured creditors. The last paragraph, you try to understand this. Read the question. I think you might have copied down. You can see the question before I start this working out. You can see liquidator is entitled to a remuneration of 3% on the amount realized, including securities in the hands of secured creditors. This is first point. Then, and 1.5% of the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. 1.5% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. Today I have told you the term unsecured creditors also include preferential creditors unless otherwise specified. What is preferential creditors? 1,200. What is the amount that is to be paid to unsecured creditors? 61. But whether we got the sufficient amount or not, that is what we need to see. If you know that, we can calculate 1.5%. Okay. And now what is that we need to do? So what I do first, let me explain this liquidator final statement of account. Liquidator's final statement of account. Okay, so first what I do, amount realized I am writing here. Amount realized other than assets specifically pledged, the various assets excluding securities in the hands of secured creditors realized 52,000. Today's class I have given the format to to realization from sale of asset, this one. Then relation of assets specifically pledged. This also can be called as surplus, my dear friends. Surplus realized from assets specifically pledged. We say that. So here it is, assets realized 52,000 we have seen. Then we got surplus from secured creditors. What is surplus here? 50,000 security realized. What is security as 40? 50 minus 40, 10,000. We can write 2 or you can ignore 2 also. There is no issue. Surplus from secured creditors. Security is 50,000. Liability 40. 50 minus 40, 10. So 62,000 you are having. Now, in the problem, liquidation expense has been given. So first priority liquidation expenses. Whatever is given, I am writing. Now, liquidated remuneration I have to calculate. That I will be showing in working notes. Liquidator remuneration. Then after that we got preferential creditors. 1200. Preferential creditors 1200. Then finally unsecured creditors. Unsecured creditors you can't say whether you got enough money because only 62,000 is there. Whereas unsecured creditors is amounting to something like 61,000. And so we need to say, I think amount is initially, primarily it appears to be amount is insufficient. So unsecured creditors payment can be known only once if you know what is the amount that is to be paid to liquidator remuneration. This is receipt, this is payment. I'm not given importance to this format. Left hand side, you all are aware that receipts you can write or particulars you can write. $1,200. Then unsecured creditors I have to find out. Now, working notes, liquidator remuneration. Liquidator remuneration. He says, sorry. Liquidator remuneration, what has been given? Problem. Entire problem went somewhere. Seems to be there is an issue, my dear friends. Yeah, thank you. Liquidated remuneration, 3% on amount realized, including securities. What is 3% on assets realized? 52 plus 10, it is coming to how much? 62,000. Liquidator remuneration, 3% on 50,000. You read that again. 3% of the amount realized, including securities in the hand of security creditors. He's not saying surplus, including the. This is what, as per instruction, we should go. Generally, the surplus he will realize, but as per instruction, including securities in the hands of security creditors, including securities in the hand of security creditors means 50,000. This as per instruction. Otherwise, we have to take only on 10,000, 3%. And what is assets realized here? Assets realized is 52. 52 plus 10, 62 we have to calculate. But in the problem is saying that including securities in the hands of security creditors. That is why what I am doing here, securities realized is 50,000 plus assets realized by liquidator himself 52. So therefore 50 plus 52. Come on, calculate. 1,02,000 into 3%. It is coming to 3,060. Then I have already told you 1.5% commission on then 1.5% on amount distributed on secured creditors. I have already told you. Remuneration to unsecured creditors means including preferential creditors. What is preferential creditors? 1,200. So 1.5% remuneration on preferential payments. On preferential payments. What is preferential payments? We are having 1,200. 1,200 into 1.5%. It is coming to 18 rupees. And now I need to calculate finally 1.5% on payment to unsecured creditors. It is unknown value, no? Why unknown value? Here you can see unsecured creditors payment I can make only if I know remuneration. Remuneration I can know only when I make payment on secured creditors. Just like you learn commission after charging such commission, net profit, commission on net profit after charging such commission. So unknown value. So what is to be done, sir? I have to find out amount available before making payment to unsecured creditors into rate by 100 plus rate. You know, unknown value always formula is rate by 100 plus rate. You should remember. So next, that is equal to amount available to unsecured creditors into rate by 100 plus rate. Amount available to unsecured creditors into rate by 100 plus rate. So amount available to unsecured creditors, how to know it, sir? Take the receipts. Total receipts is 62,000 though. 62,000. It can't be more than this. 62. So I am writing total here. 62,000 minus here whatever I have written so far. 500 I have written and 1,200 I have written. No. 500 minus 1,200. And then I got already this calculated 3% on assets realized 3,060. 3,060. And now 1.5% on preferential payment is coming to 18 rupees. Come on, tell me. 62,000 minus 62,000 minus 500 minus 1,200 minus 3,060 minus 18. It is coming to 57,000 222. So from this 57,000 to 222, after deducting this 1.5%, then we'll be getting amount paid. So that is what I'm saying. When we don't know the amount that is finally paid, when amount is insufficient, please remember, when this particular thing I have to apply when amount is insufficient, the formula is rate by 100 plus rate. So please remember here, I'll be writing rate by 100 plus rate. Formula we need to use is being used since amount is insufficient to pay unsecured creditors. Amount is insufficient to pay unsecured creditors. 100 plus rate by 100 plus rate is being used since amount is insufficient to pay unsecured creditors. So 57,220 into 1.5 by 101.5, calculate. 57 into 1.5 by rate by 100 plus rate, no? It is coming to 845 point something, 845.64. I'm taking 846. 846. Now total remuneration you can see 3060 plus 18 plus 846. 846 plus 18 plus 3060. It is coming to 3,924. So now you take remuneration here, liquidated remuneration 3,924. 3,924. So now you can see balance 62,000 minus 500 minus 3924 minus 1200. What is that is amount available to unsecured creditors? 56,376. So that 1.5% he has given on this. If you want, you can cross check. 56,736 is the balancing figure finally that is being paid. Insufficient amount. That is correct or not, you can see. 56,376, no? Now you can see 1.5% remuneration he has given on amount distributed on secured creditors. What is amount distributed on secured creditors? 56,366. 56,376. 56,376. Now on that you calculate 1.5%. It is going to be 846. You can cross check. So that is when unknown value is given, rate by 100 plus rate. You can cross check. After getting it, you can cross check. So you'll be getting same. If amount is sufficient, suppose you are having 70,000 here. What is amount due to preferential? The unsecured creditors? Say 61. Amount is sufficient. Directly you can say rate by 100. Clear? This is an important model. Just remember. So then one more example. Two more examples I wish to take. Think class may be becoming lengthy. We'll work out this in the next class. A few more examples I wish to work out, few more points, and tomorrow's class, the next class, we extend this and we discuss few points on remuneration, preferential creditors, etc. Then we can go for liquidator final statement of account. I hope you have learned, you got some clarity of thought on this particular point. Okay, my dear friends, we'll meet in the next slide. Thank you.